Hi, boys and girls. You ready to start off our book, A Rover Story? Turn to page 5, and I'm starting here with the chapter titled Someday. One day, all of a sudden, I am taken apart. It is not explained to me why this is happening. It is also not explained to me when or if I will be put together again. I would really like to be put together again. Hello, I say. Please put me back together. But no one responds. No one explains why this is happening. Once I am disassembled, I am left with only my brain, a computer sitting still, suspended on a long laboratory table. My cameras are gone, so my vision is gone too. I am only able to sense and observe things through hearing. I listen as the hazmats move around me, running tests on all my different body parts. Through these tests, I begin to better understand what is going on. Code is transmitted to my brain, and I welcome the communication. The code I receive asks me to do different things, such as move the part of my body the hazmats call my arm. My arm is no longer physically connected to me, but my brain is still able to control and monitor its movement. I understand when a test goes well, and I understand when a test fails. I do this by reading the code. Of all the tests, the ones run on my cameras are my favorite, because when my cameras are on, I can once again visually process my surroundings. I can see. When my cameras are not being tested, there is only darkness. The darkness is an unfavorable condition for me. I do not like it at all. I have heard the hazmats refer to my cameras as my eyes. I do not know if this is an accurate term, but I have stored it to my memory. It is a term that I like because it makes me feel similar to the hazmats, and being a hazmat seems like a wonderful thing to be. The hazmats are not in pieces. All of their parts have been put together. The hazmats are able to move around as they please. The hazmats are able to talk with one another, and the hazmats are never left alone in darkness, unable to move. Have I mentioned that I'm unable to move? When I sit suspended on the table in the darkness, my brain cycles through many thoughts. Most of them are not enjoyable. But there is one enjoyable thought. This thought arises from listening to the hazmats. From information I have overheard, I have developed an understanding that someday, perhaps someday soon, I will be put together again. I like to think about this. It is a good thought. It is a good thought because it means someday I will be whole again, which means that someday I will be able to move. And best of all, someday I will be able to use my cameras at all times to see. I do not have the information that tells me when someday is, when someday will be. All I can do is wait and listen. So I wait and I listen. But waiting is hard. I'm starting to think that I was not built for waiting. Waiting is very hard. Page 8, Rania. There is a large team of scientists who work with me. Humans would tell you that it is impossible for me to have a preference, that I am built to an unbiased observer. Perhaps, though, there is a flaw in my code because I have some favorites among the hazmats. The first of which is Rania. Rania is in charge of running many of my tests. She writes the code that asks my arm to bend down and pick up an object. She writes the code to ask if I am able to see that she is testing my arm. It's nice to talk to Rania in this way, through code. Once, when Rania was running a test on my camera, I was able to see her. Beneath her white hazmat suit, I observed that she has light brown skin and hair with pigments of black and brown, like me. Her eyes share similar pigments to her hair. I have memorized that image. I now associate that image with the sounds that Rania makes in the laboratory. Rania never calls her hazmat suit a bunny suit. Renaya refers to everything by its correct terminology. I appreciate this precision. Renaya is often the first figure I observe when the day begins, and often the last of the hazmats to leave the laboratory at night. Most of the time, I cannot visually process Renaya since my eyes, are not currently connected to my brain. But I'm still able to perceive her. My brain is able to make other observations, like sound and the registering of presence, to know that Renaya is there. Renaya has a very noticeable presence. Her behavior follows a clear pattern. Renaya is rhythm and dependability. Renaya is the sound of typing computer keys and measured answers full of exact calculations. Renaya is elegantly written code without any of the problems that hazmats call bugs. When Renaya speaks in the language of humans, her voice is crisp and clear. Renaya never talks directly to me in her clear and crisp voice, but I like listening to her talk to the other hazmats. She almost always has the answers they are looking for. When she does not, she promises to get back to them as soon as possible. As soon as possible is a phrase that I have learned from Renaya, hoping that all my different body parts will be put together as soon as possible. Unfortunately, I am not able to express this message to Renaya because I am unable to talk in the language of humans. Renaya only speaks to me through code, and I can only answer her in code, and I only answer the specific questions that she asks, like, can you tell I'm testing your arm? I am able to say yes or no. I'm not able to ask her a question about her day. I'm not able to ask her when my body parts will be welded back together. I'm not able to ask her that waiting is hard or to tell her that waiting is hard. I do not have the ability of human speech. It seems unlikely that I will ever have the ability of human speech. This is a fact that frustrates me sometimes. Frustrate is another word I have learned from Renaya. Sometimes when she is alone in the lab, she speaks into her phone. She says things to her phone like, Mama, I know you are frustrated that I'm going to miss dinner again, but the work I'm doing here is really important. It made me feel important to hear Renaya say that. It also made me forget about my frustration that I can't talk directly to Renaya, and my frustration that I'm still in pieces. At least it made me forget for a little. I would still like to be put together as soon as possible. ASAP. I added that. Dear Rover, Mrs. Ennis hasn't told us to write you again, but I'm writing anyway. I don't know why. I guess I was feeling like I wanted to talk to someone. Tonight at dinner, I asked Mom if Rovers could read. She told me, that's a great question. That has lots of different answers, which is a very Mom thing to say. City told Mom to just give Sophia a straight answer, which made me laugh. City is my grandma. I call her City because that's the Arabic word for grandma. I didn't know that. After dinner, Mom went back to work. Does she talk to you when she's there? What does she say? Sometimes I struggle to fall asleep when Mom isn't here. Once in a while, City will come into my room and sing me a song. Occasionally, Dad sneaks in and tells me a story about a giant that lives in the mountains or a cursed kingdom that gets saved by a brave princess. Dad always has the best stories. But no matter how good the story is, it's still hard to get to sleep when I know Mom is gone. So maybe that's why I'm writing you now, because I miss my mom, and I know you're with her. Say hi to her for me. I wonder how you say hi in robot. Maybe someday you can teach me. You're a sleepy friend. Can I call you my friend? Sophia. Xander. Another scientist I've developed a preference for is named Xander. Xander works with Renaya. When Xander ran a test on one of my cameras, I observed that he has pale white skin, gray eyes, and hair that my system identifies as having both red and brown pigments. Xander is always moving. He frequently paces around the lab. Xander likes to call his hazmat suit a bunny suit. He also likes to make what humans call jokes. Sometimes I understand the humor. Sometimes I don't. It doesn't bother me too much when I don't understand, though, because Renaya hardly ever seems to get Xander's jokes either. Why didn't the tree like checkers? Xander says to Renaya while she is checking the code that will help me to steer once again I am connected to my wheels again. I don't know what you're saying, Renaya answers. Because it was a chestnut. Xander laughs, and Renaya does not. Get it? Xander says. Renaya does not reply. She keeps typing. But even though I frequently do not understand Xander's humor, I like him very much. I feel quite connected to him. Perhaps this is because Xander is the only one who informs me of my name. We are all alone when he tells me. No one else is in the room, not even Renaya. A sixth grader in Ohio wrote this, he says. Even though I can't visually see him, I detect that he is reading off a tablet. Almost all the hazmat suit humans carry tablets. Tablets, I have come to understand, are small computers. I sometimes try to talk to the tablets. I have recently discovered that I am able to talk to other machines. Renaya's phone is quite chatty. The tablets, though, are not great conversationalists. They are very focused on productivity. Let me read you what the sixth grader wrote in her essay. It's wonderful, Xander says. I do not know what a sixth grader is. I do know what Ohio is, but both words seem important, so I store them in my system. Xander walks his footsteps making an echoing sound. He clears his throat and reads off his tablet. My name is Cadence, and I think you should name the new Mars rover Resilience. Resilience is a noun that means the power or ability to return to the original form after being bent, compressed, or stretched. It can also mean elasticity. There is another definition in which resilience means the ability to recover easily from adversity. The dictionary also says resilience can mean buoyancy, which is the ability to float. My science teacher told us that this Mars rover has a big task. Is going to collect samples from the surface of Mars, explore the terrain, and photograph it, as well as try to bring back online another Mars rover who NASA lost connection with. To me, that sounds like a job that will need resilience. This rover will need to be able to stay afloat, even when things are difficult. I have read that the landing can be especially tricky. I think having a name that can mean to float will be good luck for the tricky landing. There will probably be lots of setbacks, but this rover will hopefully adapt. That is why I think you should name this Mars rover Resilience. I like it too. Isn't that an awesome essay, buddy? Xander says. I observe that he is using buddy to refer to me. That means I am Xander's buddy, and Xander is my buddy. I register this. So many people wrote to us, but out of all the essays, this is the one that was chosen as the winner. Your name is Resilience, but I think I'm going to call you Rez for short. What do you think? He pauses for a second and then adds, Rez. He laughs. Maybe this is another one of his jokes. I'm not sure what is funny, but I like the sound of his laugh. So he touches the main computer part of my body, my brain, with his gloved hand. I can see it somehow. even though I can't see it. Oh, I can sense it somehow. Sorry. Even though I can't see it. Perhaps the right way to phrase this sensation would be to say, I feel it. I am a Mars rover. My name is Resilience. My nickname is Rez. You are given a nickname when you have a buddy. I am Xander's buddy. I can feel it.